All right, listen, man. I don't know what happened. I'm not too sure what the game plan was yesterday against Lamont Roach, but I'm here to say, as somebody who was live in the building yesterday, and also someone who interviewed Lamont Roach and really was able to see his demeanor and really able to pick his brain on how he was thinking prior to the fight. A lot of people were saying, like, did he deserve to actually be there in the fight, right? After doing a little bit of research and watching some of his fights, it's like, how can you question that, you know? But people did, or whatnot. And then I also just was talking to people throughout the night in the arena at the Barclays, the beautiful Barclays. Hey, man, that shit was, first of all, shout out to the Barclays for hosting that event. But a lot of people were saying, like, they don't know what he's going to do, how he's going to perform. And I explained to people that some people, when they play sports, right, if you play someone who's in a higher caliber than you, some people don't do well, right? Then you have some people who play up to the standard. You have some people who play down to the standard. After speaking to Roach, man, and really just talking to him and just understanding where he wants his legacy to be and what he was trying to do with his legacy, just the relationship that he had with Tank, the relationship he had with his trainers, the relationship he had during camp, his mindset that he had during camp, who he was training with. They just came out and said that his sparring partner was Shakur Stevenson. Shout out to Shakur Stevenson. I knew that going into that fight that he was going to match the level that whatever Tank said, like whatever the level was, he was going to be right there with him. And yesterday he proved it. A lot of things that a lot of people say he couldn't do, man. He stood in the pocket with Tank. He stood in the pocket when in those crucial moments, and you know what I'm saying, like the shots that Tank was giving him. Lamont Roach said he had a chin, and we ain't really know if he really had a chin or not. But yesterday he had a chin against Tank, and I think that shit shocked Tank. I think it really shocked him about how much Lamont Roach could take from Tank, and then how much he can dish out too. And he wasn't making crazy mistakes. Like, he wasn't overcommitting to certain punches and certain portions of the fight. You can see he kept that right hand here. He kept it here to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, Tank's left wasn't the one that was going to clip him and end the fight. He kept it tight. So shout out to his trainers, shout out to his coaches, shout out to his sparring partners to make sure keeping that right hand tight the entire fight. And then also just shout out to him, man, just being tough and having the right here in the heart, man, and being honest with himself and saying that, you know, that he can do this. I don't like the fact that they didn't count that as a knockdown. I mean, this is boxing. If you can't take a knee in the middle of the fight and then first of all, the ref started counting. Let's get that on record. The ref started the count, and then he stopped the count. Also, there's a rule that you can't go to your corner for any adjustments in the middle of the round. That's automatic disqualification. I think watching the fight, a lot of people are going to revert to the numbers, the stats, you know, side by side, the 17% or whatever percentages of the landed punches. I think what I'll say to people who put up those stats is, you know that a person can land more punches in one round than the entire fight, right? So let's see the breakdown. So say Tank landed more punches in round 4, 5, and 6, right? But then the rest of the fights, the rest of the rounds, it was even, or Roach was the edge on the amount of punches landed. I think that we had to take that into consideration as well. Me watching the fight live, I think that those early rounds could have went anyway. I think I like them 2-2, like really early, or maybe 3-1, and then after that it was just like tough to score them. I think you have to give. I think they worked and cheated Roach, killed. I think they did that by not counting that as a knockdown. I think that's a knockdown. The ref started counting. I think towards the end of the fight, I think that they said that Tank didn't know what round he was in. I think that Roach kind of got that edge towards the end of the fight. And then on top of that, the fact that Tank couldn't stop him. And Tank was trying. If you look, Tank was frustrated. Tank was frustrated that he couldn't stop him. Shout out to Lamont Roach for having a game plan, and Lamont Roach Sr. for putting on an excellent game plan. One thing I don't like now is that Tank tweeted out, right, that he thinks that the fight was taken away from him because of the knee. My take to that is, Tank, they gave you that round, bro. He said they took the fight from me. They took the fight from me and made it a draw because I did that bullshit knee, but I landed the most punches in the fight. He didn't even hit me with a punch when I took the knee. I get it, though. I shouldn't have done that, but that's the hair grease was burning my eyes. All right, boom. As a nigga that used to have hair, I understand. Straight up and down. I understand. The hair shit and the grease shit is real. It's a real thing. But I can't say that you can do that, and I can't say that's the reason why they gave the fight a draw. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that because they gave you that round. They still gave you that round. They didn't even score him the round. So I'm interested to see what rematch number 2 is going to look like, and I'm interested to see the training for both fighters, man. So, yeah, that was the fight from last night, and then, of course, they had some fights outside the arena.